I'm Mike Huckman at the Bio Bus Center, and I'm pleased to welcome the President and CEO of Tokai Pharmaceuticals, Jody Morrison, who is also the co-chair of the new Gender Diversity Initiative at MassBio, which is an industry organization that represents Massachusetts life sciences companies. Thanks for being here.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Why is there a need for a gender diversity initiative?
So I think in the industry overall, I think many people saw the open letter. Certainly that was a beginning of the discussion that we need to have in the space.
You're talking about the incident or social event that occurred 6 months ago here in San Francisco during the JP Morgan Healthcare Conference, where there were essentially models, female models brought in to parade around a social event.
Yes, arguably from the founder of LifeSci, from the perspective of balancing the male-female ratio in the room. And I think that speaks to one of the issues that we've seen overall, which is a 10-to-1 from a board perspective male-female ratio. More than 50% of our companies at the overall in the biotech space, based on the Liftstream event, show that we have more than 50% of those companies with male-only boards, and we need to really do something about that overall, both at the executive level and the board level.
So what do you do besides, say, bring more women into your management ranks, put more women on the board? Because I also saw that of the boards that do have women on them, it's usually a token.
Correct. But even that token one lifts up the overall stock performance by 26%. So based on a Credit Suisse report. So that would suggest, that would suggest that that's even a good addition there. But we'd like to see it do much better and see that more balanced over time. I think what we have seen is that there are also lower executive level and C-suite women overall in the biotech space and pharmaceutical space, and so that limits the pool of candidates potentially to get to the executive level. I think we have a couple different initiatives that have started over the course of the last 6 months since the time of the open letter, and I'm pleased to be a part of a number of those. I think the work that's going on with Women in Bio and the new launch of the new board readiness program that they're going to do is a great start. And the MassBio, which I'm co-chair with Abby Selniker on, the Gender Diversity Initiative, our focus will really be on looking at the fact that we have more than 50% of women in the industry coming into the ranks, but they're falling off at the top. So how do we retain them? How do we encourage them to take those roles moving forward? And then how do we help them transition to a board level role in the future?
And they're not just not moving into management. I read also another statistic from a study that said they're turning down management jobs. Why is that?
So I think it's a critical thing that we need to look into and understand more. I think certainly when we look at the level of the drop-off, it appears to happen around the associate director level, which based on age would suggest that women at the childbearing age might be suggesting that they want to step back. We want to explore that and understand if there are policies that could be put into place to actually facilitate women kind of leaning in, if you will, and opting into those roles in the future, because that's certainly part of the issue, and we need to address that.
From a personal standpoint, Jody, I find it interesting, intriguing, maybe a tad ironic that not only are you obviously a female CEO, but you're the CEO, for those who are not familiar with Tokai Pharmaceuticals, of a company that is its core focus is men's health.
Exactly.
So does that add a different dynamic as well?
Well, it certainly adds some irony to the situation, I think. And we actually have a board with 2 female members as well. So certainly I think being the female CEO of a men's health company is a bit of an ironic twist to the story, but I think it has not stood in the way of the work that we're doing. We've been able to take really a precision medicine angle on the work that we're doing for men with prostate cancer and really drive towards personalized medicine for men who are suffering from ARV7 positive disease and prostate cancer, and
that's a certain type of prostate cancer.
It is exactly a subtype, and so that doesn't seem to play as a male-female. And in fact, what we find, some of the advocates that we work with are in fact women who are supporting the men in their family, be it grandchildren, spouses, daughters, and so that actually plays well, I think, from that perspective.
The theme of this year's Bio International meeting is simply the word imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine fill in the blank. Imagine what?
I think I'd like to imagine that in the future we could see a fair balance of men and women on executive level teams as well as at the board level, and drive that 26% of better stock performance and overall better performance at the company level, supported by a lot of different initiatives further along to really drive our company as successful. We could add so much more using more balanced gender diversity. There's an argument that you can actually drive $2 to $4 trillion into the GDP, and that's a huge opportunity that we need to grab onto, certainly in the biotech field and broader.
Jody Morrison, the President and CEO of Tokai Pharmaceuticals and the new co-chair of the Gender Diversity Initiative at MassBio. Thanks for joining us here at the Bio Bus Center.
Thanks for having me.